Well, hello to everybody who's been faithfully watching my streams. Can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I think it's really neat to share this stuff with you. I hope that some of it has been educational and maybe good, just, entertainment in the background for you. So, anyway, here we go again. I'm going to go ahead and start working on something. I'm not even sure today. And we'll see. Maybe I'm going to implement relative files. I've just discovered relative files in Commodore 64. And I mean, I knew about them, but I've never tried to use them before. And I have created some small utility functions to help me operate them. And I may be working on my truck program so I can save my data. Although relative files do they do provide some they do have some limitations. Like you can store 254 bytes maximum to a record, and it may take some rethinking of my the way I store data in my trucking program, on how I want to do this, so I can try to just keep things as easy as possible. Now, I was working on my buffer manager program, or a little library to help me out before, and it was cool, but as with a lot of things I get working on, I start to realize that the size of it becomes a bit too much, and that's what happened with buffer manager. Is it just got too large for what it does and for the system I'm working on. And I realized that I've had to implement just feature after feature after feature to make that, really a usable piece of software. And I didn't want to get that crazy with the features, but what I am looking for is a way to quickly look up data, process data, and then provide some results. Sequential files are great for storing data, but when it comes to trying to get pieces of data, like I need so many, expenses on, certain dates. Well, that sequential data is going to take forever to search. Where this relative files, I'm hoping this will be a much faster way to figure out dates and expenses and whatever I'm searching for to create summaries and things in my trucking program, which is basically just a financial program to show me, where I'm at and what I do, driving trucks. So I need to know, how much money I made during a certain period, or how much my expenses are, or what's my fuel economy, going to certain locations versus other locations, because I do a lot of repetitive trips. Just give me more insight into what I do. But also, getting to enjoy my Commodore 64 at the same time, which is why I'm doing this. Because most people want to do something like this, you'd use a spreadsheet, but I'm just not most people. I enjoy my Commodore, and this is how I'm trying to do it. So trying to do it the hard way, but at least for me, it's the fun way. So anyway, I'm going to get going on here and see what I can do, and maybe we'll get something productive done tonight, or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. So I think I'm going to start off by restarting Vice, because I already know that the disk drive is not going to work right. I still haven't sorted that out. I don't know. I'll get to it one day. Right now, I just reboot it. So I'm going to go ahead and go over a little bit of what I have here, so you have an understanding of what you're looking at. I have these functions that I use RL for a little prefix that kind of keep them unique. So I have RL new, which creates a brand new relative file. You can create it on whatever drive you want. You can create it, you give it the name and a record size. A record size, I believe, can be anywhere from 1, I presume, up to 254. I know the largest record size is 254 bytes. So you can create a relative file with this function. And also, this function is actually double purpose. If you put a record size of 0 in, then it will also just open a pre-existing relative file. And I have a little macro for that right here in the header file. And it says RL open, and all it does is call the new, and it gives it 0 for a record size. And they can just use it to open your pre-existing what you would call it, I can't think of the name of it, your pre-existing file, whatever. Anyway, I'll think of it. I have RL position as well. Now what this does is this positions the drive so that it's located right above whatever record you want, and then you can also have the position within that record. So, position could be anywhere from, I presume, 0 to 254. I would think it would be somewhere in there. Like I said, I haven't really used this a whole lot. I haven't used the position on this just yet, but of course I will. But presumably all this works. So far, the only position, though, I've ever used is 0, but I have used different records, and that works fine. So then I have RL write, so it allows you to write to your record, and you can go ahead and select record number, the offset within that record, so that's that 0 to 254 bytes within your record, depending on your record size. The buffer your source data is coming from, and how much the length is, which will be determined by the size of your record. So, and where your offset is. So once you create your own record in your relevant file, then you'll know what your length limit is. And then we have RL read, pretty much the same stuff, just your record, the offset, the buffer you want to read to, and the length. It does do a little bit of error checking. This one right here is if the record is what is this, NP? Let me go. I have it. Go one. Record not present. So if your record is not present, it won't try to read it. So just a little error checking. And up here, if your record is going to be too large, it returns that error. It does this right after you do the positioning. Then it won't write to it. So it's not going to try to write to it. I don't know if that would corrupt a disk or not, but I'm not trying it. So I went ahead and just made it return. There's no point in writing to it with that error. And then that's it. Pretty simple, but it's good to go ahead and be able to try these new files out, new file system out. Something at least new to me. So now the next thing will be is for me to figure out how to organize my data so that I can make everything fit in this properly and make this easy. I'm going to go ahead and clear this. I'm going to get trip.c. relative file. Duh. That's why I couldn't think of it. Relative file. My mind just went blank. Yeah, relative files. I don't know why. Relevant. No, relative files. That's what I was trying to say. Sometimes I just forget what word I'm trying to use. You see this garbage on the screen? This doesn't happen on my real Commodore 64. This is something that happens only in the emulator. And after I run my trucking program, I get this problem. So if I reboot everything, and then the problem will be gone. By the way, rebooting is Alt F12 in Vice if you're using Vice. Let's see. Work 9, so now CD. I want to see what we have in trip SCN. This trip file is basically my layout for my questions. So the program reads this and creates the questions out of this content. So I have in here like my questions are numbered, and then I have how many characters of input they'll take. And it will automatically add one to this for a null terminator for strings. But just to keep it simple for myself, this only takes 8 characters in, which would really be a total of 9. And I need to kind of add these up and try to figure out how to do this with these files. So with these relative files, I'm going to be forgetting this all night. I can already tell. Okay. Alright, so I calculated the start date, the end date, start mileage, end mileage, all the C7s, C8s, and added one to each one. And even for the very first load number, origin, destination, and pay, I have 88 bytes. So that's a lot. I mean, let's see if I could basically do, I don't know, let me see if I can do 3. Let's see, I got 88 bytes in that. Let me see, I don't even know how to hardly use this calculator. Let me get this other calculator here, my older one. Although this one I pretty much need glasses for. You know what, let me go get some glasses. I'll be right back. You can always watch if you want to see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm back. I got glasses. My eyes are getting older. Oh, I've been using this calculator since I was a kid. I remember when I was a kid, I had no trouble seeing these dang buttons. Alright, let's see here. Before I figure out what I was doing now. Great, I can see the calculator, but now I can't see the screen. Okay, let's see here. So that's 8. So that's going to be 9. That'll be 18. And 18 plus 16. So that's 34 bytes for the start date, end date, start mileage, and end mileage. Alright, now let's see here. Let's do a memory plus. There's something already in memory. How do you clear it? Memory to read. Oh, probably memory to read twice, right? Let me see. No. God dang, I don't remember how to use this thing. Maybe memory minus. Okay, there we go. Alright, so where was I? Let's see, 18 plus 16. 18 plus 16. 34 bytes. Do a memory plus. And now I have, let's see, 40, 42 plus 7 and 6. 42 plus 7 plus 6. 55 bytes. Let's see if we multiply that times 55. 4 equals 220 bytes. plus memory read. Oh, 254 bytes. Well, that is exactly the limit size of one. Um, my God, it's going to be a night like tonight. Yeah, it's going to be relative. That is going to be relative. One exact record for a relative file. Isn't that something? And that came out to, what was it, 3 loads and the start date, end date, and mileage. I'd like to have four loads in there because that is possible. Usually I end up with 3 loads in a week, but it's possible to also have 4. So what am I going to do? Make each load its own record. That's what I would have to do. Okay. So each load would then have a start date, end date, start mileage, end mileage, load number. Actually, that would probably make more sense, wouldn't it? To do it that way anyway. And I believe that came out to 55, but better recalculate it. 18 plus 16 plus 40, 42 plus 7 plus 6 equals, I don't know how I got that. Let me try this again here. 18 plus 16 equals 34 plus 21 plus 21 plus 7 plus 6. That's 89 bytes. Okay. So each load would be 89 bytes. 89 bytes. So each record would be 89 bytes. That includes the null terminator too. Yes, it does. So 89. And times 2. 178. So what I ought to do is I ought to increase so I can use the full record. Should I do that? Yeah, because it's not going to be enough for 3 of these, right? Or is it? Let me see, 89 times 3. Nope, too much. I'm just trying to maximize my space in these files, relative files, trying to maximize my space. 254 bytes, but I've overshot it. Overshot it a little bit with this. I'm going to see if I were to reduce the size of the origin and destination. I mean, if I were to take 10 off of each of those, that would be more than enough to compensate. Oh, but is 10 characters enough for an origin and destination? Certainly is limiting. You would have to abbreviate. I guess I'm going to have to practice this. Let me open a text editor. Oh, what am I talking about? In a text editor. Duh. Okay. Let's see here. Move this down. Let's see if I went to Salt. Well, Salt Lake City, Utah, that's SLC. So that's no problem. Let's try Wilmington. Wilmington, North Carolina. Let's see here. Well, we know right here. Well, I want to call them 14. So we got 14 characters. 15. Well, let's see what we can do. That might just fit. Let's see if that does. Wilmington, North Carolina. Of course, that includes a space too. Okay. So we have memory read 34 for the very first 4 of them. And we do plus 7 plus 6 plus 30 would equal 77. 77 per record. Okay, so if we did each record, let's see, times 2 times 3, 77. 231 of a record. So I guess we could do more. Okay. Let's see. This might work out okay. Let's go ahead and do this. Memory read 34. And I'm going to do plus 7 plus 6 equals 47. 47. Let's see here. If I could find a good way to clear this thing out. Wonder what this button does. There's 47. Memory read. Is that the only way to do is memory minus it? Anyway, 47. Put that in memory. Alrighty. So instead of 30, let's do 32 plus 32 times 3 memory read. I'm going to do a plus 30, 36 equals times 3. 249. Getting very close now. 249.
Did you get your chocolate drink?
I sure did. Thank you. Ooh, let's see here. Alright, memory read plus 38 times 3. 1 too many. So 36. 36, memory read plus 36. 83 times 3. 36. Alright. 36 to 18 characters is what I can do instead of 20. You know, that's not bad. That's an okay compromise. 18. And, hey, Alana, you want to close that door? 18. No worries. Okay, so we just make him 18 and 18. That'll be fine to handle most stuff. That'll make it fit the best I can within these relative records. Not bad. That way each load will almost use it up. Start mileage, end mileage. So then I have to figure out how to do this in an easy way. So 18, that's what we need. So I need to just get rid of these. 5. So this up here now is one record. Start date, end date, start mileage, end mileage, load number, origin, destination, and pay. That's one full record. It would be interesting to know empty mileage, loaded mileage. Get an idea how much I'm spending on empty miles too. So if I wanted to store that, let's say down here, empty miles. Well, I don't have to abbreviate it. I'll just put empty miles. Q8. Actually, I'm going to renumber these, so it'll be Q9, Q8. And this is not even required in the program to read this. This is really just for my reference. Q5, Q4, 3, 2, 1. So empty miles would be question 9. Empty miles /C. Oh, I think this would just be taking too much. This would be taking too much. Too much. Boy, I tell you, it is easy to go through this damn record. Oh, excuse my language. Go through these dang records. 254 bytes. You think, oh, I got 254 bytes. I got a lot to work with. Yeah, not really. 254 bytes goes kind of quick. Dang it. So I wouldn't be able to do the empty miles. I have load number, origin, and destination. Because empty miles could be, I've had some deadheads, over 1,000 miles. I mean, that's extremely rare, but it can happen, and you could literally have to enter that, and I would need all those characters for over 1,000. And then loaded miles would be the same size. But, you know what I'm not thinking about? Is I don't have to store everything as strings either. Do I? No, I do not. I can store things as numbers, and I can save myself a bunch of space. Isn't that something? The load number I can't because it could have a letter on the end for a split load. If I were to break down, I might have to split a load with another driver. So I could have to put an S on that. But the start mileage is bigger. Great. Let's see. It's going to be larger than an integer, so I'm not going to be able to do that. The empty miles, however, are not larger than an integer or larger than an unsigned integer. Because an unsigned integer, we're going to have 65,535 as our maximum number. So for our empty miles and our loaded miles, we could put those in numerically. Possible. That would be 4 bytes then. 4 bytes is a lot more manageable. And that would probably make it fit. Destination. Oh, and pay. Pay is also, I doubt I'm going to get paid more than $65,536 for a single load, so that would make sense. That could also be a number. So that could be unsigned, empty miles unsigned, and loaded miles unsigned. You know what I could do? I could do an option for a split, and then I could do the load number as an unsigned as well. So what I need to do is probably end up making a struct for this. So empty mileage will be, well, let's figure out how many bytes we got. So if I did the load number, the load number, how many digits? It says 6. Let me see. Maybe I could do a split and make it a negative number if it's a split. Maybe we could do that as a little trick to indicate it's a split. So 6. So that's, let me take a look at the load number, make sure that's right. This seems like that's 1 digit too much, but I'm not sure. All right, let's take a look at load number. The load number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have the extra character for the split, so I could get rid of that. So 72,520. But the number, but the number's too big. Dang it. Boy, I wish integers were just a little bit larger in Power C. Or I wish you had at least long integers. I probably could use a real number, but I don't want to do that. So I could do an unsigned. That would still be 2 bytes. No, I can't. No, I can't do an unsigned. So 72,000. Alrighty. That's not going to work. Empty miles. I guess I just leave the load number like it is. And I'll just do the pay. Because, load number doesn't even need to be calculated. Pay, empty miles, loaded miles, stuff like that would be calculated. Start mileage, end mileage. I'd have to convert those probably to real number. I don't even know what the limit on a real number is on here. I'm not sure. Let's see. Because I've never used real numbers in Power C. have not. So anyway, empty miles will be 1,000. So let's see here. 1,000. So that's 4, 5. It'll ultimately be 6. So C5 loaded miles slash Q10 slash C5. So I've got pay, empty, and loaded reduced down to 2 bytes each. So that's pretty significant savings. All right, let's calculate this again. All right, memory read, 47 bytes. Don't remember what that was for, so I just have to start over. So 18. 18 plus 16 equals 34 bytes. So that's start mileage, start date to end mileage. And then we have load number, so that'd be plus 7, and then origin plus 19, destination plus 19, and then we are up to 79 bytes. Now we have 246 for pay, empty, and loaded. So plus 6 equals 85 bytes. Multiply that by 3. Oh, 1 byte too much. Dang it, it would have been nice to get it right on 254. 1 byte too much. 1 friggin' byte too much. Dang it. Well, that would have been maximum usage of the record, but that's okay. I'll probably just say, let's just reduce our origin and destination by 1. Oh, 17. 17. So we had 85. 85 minus 2 times 3. 249. 249 bytes. So we have a wasted 5 bytes. Not too bad. Could have been better. Would have been nice, but you can't always get everything exactly the way you want, can you? 249. Okay. There it is. So I'm going to cut this off. I think I'm going to put that up here. F5, 6. Start date, end date, start mileage, end mileage, empty miles, loaded miles. That's another problem too, is I don't want to program every section of this you know separately and unique. It'd be nice to have like one thing that could ask questions, put the data where it needs to be on its own just by using this. So I could just write up different question sheets and have it work it out. Oh, I could put a label in here to let it know that it's going to be an unsigned or a character. Yes, I could do that. Let's try it. Start date. This is going to be character. So C8. C would be good for character. I don't want to reprogram that part. So let's put a type in. T C for character. TC for character. TC. TC. TU. TU. TC. What is this? Got a lot of extra spaces. Slash TC. Destination. Slash TC. And slash TU. That would tell everything what it needs to save as character or unsigned. And TI could be for integer if I get one I need an integer for. Actually, pay could be an integer. Empty miles and loaded miles could also be integers. No need for to make them unsigned. I don't know. I don't think that'll make any difference. At least I know I could always convert them later in the program if I need to. I don't know. For right now, just leave them unsigned. And then that would be it for that. So now, what else? So then expenses and stuff like that they'll be their own thing. Expense, 20 characters. Date. Amount. Expense would be type character. This would be type character. And this would be actually type integer. Ooh, somebody's vacuuming. Oh, that's loud. All right. So an amount, so that way I can make those negatives. That would be cool. Although expenses, geez, that could be another problem because an expense could be over 65,000. Even it could be a real number. So maybe I should make that a character. Yeah, some stuff can get expensive in truck driving. Not common. I mean, that's like if you buy a truck, basically. But what if I, want to buy a truck and that's one of my expenses? Although I probably wouldn't put it in like that. An expense wouldn't be like that. It wouldn't be buy a truck an expense, would it? It could be. I suppose so. I guess it is. So I better put it as a character. Maybe I should figure out these real numbers in Power C. Get an idea of what is my maximum on a real number. Alright, so now we've got expenses. We don't need all these. Expense, date. I think we should do date should be first. F5, F6. Date, expense, amount. Get rid of all these. F5. This would be Q1, Q2, Q3. And this would be Q4, Q5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then F5. This would be load. Put load dot QST, load questions. Okay. Then we can go to 1, F5, F6. This would be expense questions. Put expense QST. Hmm. And if this all works out, then I'll make a little utility program to help me make these question things, so I can tailor the amounts, the exact characters I can use to get it as close as I can to a full record. So as it stands right now, the loads, I can do 3 loads, which is a start date, end date, start mileage, empty miles, load number, origin, destination, and pay. I can do 3 of those per block of 254 bytes. So they don't take up the full thing, but that's what you're going to have. I wonder if the records overlap. I don't think, well, yeah, maybe they do. I don't know. It did mention something like that in the 1541 book. This, I just don't know. Like, maybe I shouldn't have to worry about it like this, because maybe if I only use, like 250 bytes, maybe it'll use the next 4 bytes for the next record. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how this works. It may not. It may waste it. I don't know. That's something to figure out at a later date. But for right now, I'm just going to assume it wastes it. And if you guys know differently for the relevant file, for the relative files, if I don't use the full 254 blocks, does it actually use like the remainder for the next record? If you know that, let me know, because I'd like to know that for sure. All right. Load number, origin, destination, pay. Cool. All right. And one we've got for date, expense, amount. I'm not going to make up a whole bunch of questions just yet because who knows if this idea is going to get scrapped at some point or not. I never know. Literally don't know. Just kind of going by the seat of my pants, and if I figure out there's a problem, then bam, there it is. Start over. All right. So now we have a type. Clear this. Get trip dot C